Welcome to the Michigan Man Podcast on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V-Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew, for Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Go Blue, and welcome to this month's Michigan Man Extra. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Joining me in just a minute will be Mario Ojemudia. We'll find out what he's up to these days and get his thoughts on Jim Harbaugh, Brady Hoke, and much more. First, a few news and notes before Mario joins us. By now, you know the spring game is canceled. Probably a good decision. We're expecting monsoon rains and lightning with high winds on Saturday, with the peak of the storm expected in the evening. So there really is no sense in risking injuries in poor conditions, and it just wouldn't be fun for the fans either. Wilton Speight announced via Instagram on Thursday he is transferring to UCLA to use his last year of eligibility. No surprise. We know he was out there visiting last weekend, so the best of luck to Wilton. E.B. Watson announced on Thursday he was leaving the program to explore other options. E.B. didn't play much this year, so this is not a surprise either. It makes life a bit easier for Coach B, though, as it opens up a scholarship. Now, if Mo decides to stay, with the 5 freshmen coming in, we will be at the 13 scholarship limit. So I'm hoping Mo comes back. He's undecided as of right now, as is sophomore Charles Matthews. Mario Ojemudia was a gifted high school athlete and great student at Farmington Harrison, where he played for legendary coach John Harrington. He was a 4-star coming out of high school and chose Michigan, as did his teammate Devin Funchess. Mario was a standout for Coach Madison on the D, and was having an outstanding senior year before an Achilles injury ended his season. He was denied a medical redshirt, and in large part because of that injury, he was cut 6 months later by the Baltimore Ravens. All is well, though. Mario decided that the NFL really was not for him and came back home to get on with his life. On today's Extra, Mario talks about that and much more. He's up next here on the Michigan Man on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V-Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Joining us on our Michigan Man Extra for this month is former Michigan standout Mario Ojemudia. Mario, great to have you on the show with us.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, before we chat about your Michigan days, which everyone wants to talk about, I'm sure, Mario, let's go back a little bit further. For those of us in the Michigan area, of course, a lot of people that listen to the program are not in Michigan, but you spent your high school days at one of the best programs in the state. We all in Metro Detroit know that. Farmington Harrison played for a great coach, and Coach Harrington. You had some pretty darn good teams back in the day when you were there, Mario.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Coach Harrington, he's a legend, and I like to call it the best high school team in Michigan. 13 state championships, leading at the top, and unfortunately they're closing us down next year.
Which will be a sad day for everyone in Metro Detroit. But it was your junior year, I believe, you guys won the state championship, right?
Yeah, there it is. Junior year, 14-0 undefeated, and beat Bowl in the state championship.
And, of course, besides yourself, you had some other pretty darn good players on that team. Your Michigan teammate Devin Funchess, but a lot of other kids that went on to play college football from that team, Mario.
Yeah, Devin Funchess, outstanding player. He's doing his thing with the Panthers right now. I'm sure he's going to have a great season. Aaron Burbridge, another one. He went on to go to MSU, Big Ten Receiver of the Year, playing in San Fran, and he's going to have a heck of a year also.
Well, when it came time for you, looking back, Mario, to pick a college, other than Michigan, who else was in the recruiting mix for you?
You know, I remember it pretty fondly. It came down to my last 3 was Michigan, Michigan State, and Stanford. It's funny because Harrison is kind of known to be a Michigan State pipeline. Had some good people go there, like Drew Stanton, Bill Coleman, among others. But ultimately, you know, I visited all the schools, and Michigan was where my heart lay. Coach Hoke was a great coach. Coach Madison, you know, what else is there to say about him? He's put legends in the NFL, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Well, you just mentioned Stanford was one of the other schools that was recruiting you, so academics, I know, was always a big factor in which school you were going to choose, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, me, my mom, definitely my mom, she was always pushing me to do academics first. She never was a big fan of football anyway, so it was always about getting an education.
Well, when you talk to kids that are being recruited, it doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or this year in this cycle. A lot of recruits find the whole process just overwhelming. They don't enjoy it at all. As you remember back on it, what was it like for you?
Oh, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Like going from one day just being another high school kid to 100 phone calls a day from random numbers, random interviews, and you're just like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I mean, I think I fell on the other side of the spectrum because I think most high school kids like that spotlight and being known, but that was never my personality. I was more like laid back, just wanted to play football for the fun of it.
Well, you hear from a lot of kids that you hear some really wacky things from coaches that are recruiting you, a lot of things that are shocking. During your process, did you find anything from some of the schools or from the coaches that were recruiting you that surprised you?
I think I always wanted coaches to tell me how like it was. Mm-hmm. Like I was never a big fan of coaches like saying, you're going to start the first day you walk in, you're going to be the next whoever. I think that's what I got from Michigan, and ultimately that's why I ended up there.
Were you a Michigan fan growing up?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Day one, came out the womb, I was a state guy through and through. But just through the recruiting process, Michigan won over my heart. I don't even know if I could put my finger on what exactly it was. Just the whole aura of Michigan, Coach Hoke, the staff, even the former players that I would talk to. Having fun just go there with me was great. James Ross, we actually met in middle school together. We went there also. It was a great fit.
Well, you mentioned Coach Hoke and what a great recruiter he was, but I think your primary guy was Fred Jackson. Wasn't he a big reason why you ended up at Michigan too?
Oh yeah, I can't believe I left off Freddie. He was the man. He would always come to the house. We would have good times with my mom, cooking dinner on the official visits, things like that. He would come up to the school, crack jokes, and I loved his personality. Didn't have to do much with him coaching because he was a running backs coach, but he was a great guy.
While you were at Michigan, Mario, it was, I guess the only way to say it, it was a tumultuous time in the program, to put it mildly. What was it like for you personally dealing with all of the commotion and everything swirling around during Coach Hoke's last year especially?
Yeah, it's kind of funny when I look back at it because while I was there, you kind of get a different perspective looking inside out as opposed to outside in. So while I was there, maybe I was delusional about everything, but I always thought we were going to win the game. Every game I went into, I thought there was a chance that we had to win. First game, I remember playing Alabama. I thought we were going to blow them out. But, obviously the opposite happened. Every game, I thought we would go in and compete, and sometimes it just didn't look that way. But now that I look back at it, there was definitely some things that we could have adjusted quicker, some different people in different situations. But, hindsight's 20/20, so easy to say now.
Well, I always wonder, with everything that was going on with Dave Brandon and with Coach Hoke, there was just constant talk in the last year or two about it's not good, the end of the road is coming for Coach Hoke. But you guys, with class and with practice and everything that you have going on, are you pretty much insulated from that, or were you hearing all of that stuff too?
You know what? I will say Coach Hoke did a great job of kind of silencing the noise, just keeping us focused on the next game, or really the next practice. The talks about Dave Brandon, anything like that, we had no control over that in the first place. So even to factor that in as a player, it would have been useless. Just focusing on your assignment on that day, getting to class, getting the homework done, and being at practice or weights the next morning was really where my head was at.
What's your take on Coach Hoke? You played for him. You were recruited by him. If someone asks you that question, what now do you think? What kind of a guy is Coach Hoke?
Love him to death. Also a guy less known in the program, probably one of Coach Hoke's right-hand man, Coach Maddox. They definitely took me under their wing when I first got there. Coach Hoke is like a father figure. He'd have us over at the house for lunches, for dinners, for Thursday night pizza dinners. Some people know about. D-line coach through and through. Definitely had his bang in the trenches, and hard-nosed coach, old school. Love everything about him.
He was a coach that not only was, I think, a very, very good coach, but he really, really cared about the players, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think even through the media, he wasn't a huge media guy, but even the fans knew that he cared about the players. He cared about the program. He cared about Michigan. I think everybody, regardless of what the outcome was at the end of the game, everybody knew that Coach Hoke loved Michigan.
Well, you didn't get much time playing for Jim Harbaugh, but from your time around him, what is your takeaway of him as a coach?
When maybe I was just ignorant about football. I didn't know much about Coach Harbaugh as a personality coming in. I guess fans knew better than me. I mean, I knew him as a player, and I knew him as he was a coach, but I didn't know his personality. He takes a different approach to football, more business-like, but I love the fact that he sticks to his guns no matter what. He's not looking for anyone's outside opinion on how to do this, how to do that. He's doing it the Harbaugh way, the Michigan way. He's come through a great tutelage of coaches. I mean, Coach Shem, his dad, Coach Harbs. It's just a football family. Everything about him is business, and he'll keep to the schedule no matter what the outside says.
Well, when you look back on your career now, Mario, now that you've had a few years, and that's not much time to look back on it and sort of reminisce, if you could pick out a few highlights of your time at Michigan that just popped to mind, what would they be?
I remember we had our Penn State Under the Lights game.
Oh, yes.
And that was at home. What year was that? My junior year, so it's 14, I think.
Mm-hmm.
14 or 15. Oh, man, I love those jerseys we had. I hope those resurface somehow. I know they're Jordan now, but they're beautiful. That game came down to the wire. I know that was one of the 2 sacks games I had. Everybody on defense was fired up to play. And some people don't like playing at night, but I personally love it. That was amazing. Another game for me was the battle with Northwestern. For some reason, those always came down to the wire. I think went into overtime, maybe 2 or 3 years in a row, coming down to the last play. Drew Dilio doing the sliding deal for the last field goal.
Yep.
That's always memorable. Also another 2 sack game. Can't forget that. But yeah, those are a few times. Love beating State. Can't beat that. I wish I could say more about Ohio State, but I don't know that feeling.
Well, overall, athletically and academically, was going to Michigan in the end everything that you thought it would be?
Everything and more. I mean, you go in just hearing stories. Because when you're a kid coming out of high school, you don't know what you don't know, but you think you know everything. You think you know what you're going to get out of it. You think you know what you need, but you don't know anything. Coaches are always trying to tell you things in retrospect. You wish you'd listen to more, but at the end of the day, got a great education. I got a great network of people that I can rely on. I had a great football career there.
Your senior season, that darned Achilles injury ended your career early, and you applied for a medical redshirt year, which you didn't get. And I've always wondered, when you apply for that, when the NCAA responds to that type of a request, do they go into any detail why they've said yay or nay?
To this day, I know the rule, but I don't specifically know why some people say it and some people don't. Because the rule is if you play 30% of the season, then you're not eligible. I think I was around 38% of the season when, Achilles just gave up on me out of nowhere. But I know some people get past and still get a 5th year. Me, I guess I was an outlier. I don't know. Bad timing. Can't do anything but look at it back on it and laugh at this point.
Terrible timing, and of course your senior year, and then looking forward to the draft, and you ended up being a free agent with the Baltimore Ravens. Do you think that kind of an injury, especially happening in your senior year, and then your professional career right around the corner, just months away, did that injury impact your tryout with the Ravens?
Oh, no doubt. That people say that's like a 1-year injury. Maybe like a 2-year. And that's 2 years from then is just about today. Going into Baltimore, I think it was about 6 months after the injury, and I got cleared to run the week before OTAs. So you can imagine not running for six months, and then all of a sudden you're playing linebacker in the NFL, and it's like, right? I feel like a baby deer just learning to walk again. But it was tough. Definitely painful. I fought through it because even though, like I said, sometimes I walk in the line of delusion, even though I knew I was in pain and my body was far from 100%, I was all for it. I thought I was going to make the team by any means necessary. But I understand the NFL is more of a business, and that business it hit me like a ton of bricks as soon as I got there.
And as you said, it is a business, it's a job, and you were fresh off of that injury, so you got cut. How long did it take for you to say, well, maybe I'm going to, keep rehabbing, keep strengthening, try to get back, or, it's just not for me. The NFL is just not going to be for me.
Like I say, I was optimistic the whole time. Got cut. I know the stories of guys that get calls the next day, calls the next year. I know I need to work on my patience a little bit, but I was not ready to wait that year or two just to get back in the NFL. I wanted to do something then and there. So I went back to Michigan to use that opportunity to learn some more football. I was on the coaching staff that year, and also was training, waiting for anybody to call my phone.
So have you completely given up on any shot at the NFL? You're just moving forward with your life right now?
Oh, yeah. The NFL football playing Mario days are done. You might catch me at YMCA playing some basketball or something like that, but you will not see me with a shoulder pad and helmets.
With us here on our Michigan Man Extra for this month is former Michigan standout Mario Ojemudia. And Mario, so now that your football days are over, I know listeners always like to find what are former players doing. So give us an idea what your career path is, what you're up to right now.
Yeah, what I'm doing, I love it. I'm a financial planner over at Northwestern Mutual, work out of Troy, work out of Ann Arbor also. Just helping people align their actions with their intentions to achieve financial security. It's one of the greatest jobs I could ask for.
For now or for the future is exactly what you want to stick with, right?
Exactly. It feels like a gift from God that just was bestowed upon me. I love this. I love face-to-face interactions with people, learning their goals, their ambitions, and trying to make that into a reality.
Oh, very good. That's very nice to hear. And when we have a former player on, I always like to get your take on what's going on with our current team. Let's start with this Michigan team. Of course, the spring game got canceled Saturday, Mario. That doesn't happen very often. I think in my lifetime, maybe it's happened once, but we're supposed to have some big storms rolling in over the weekend. So as a player, are you cool with canceling the game like that?
No. No. Listen, these guys have been competing all spring. I know how these spring practices are with Harbaugh, and they're 4 hours of grinding. I want to say it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, if I'm right. But 4 hours, and they're ready to lay it out in front of a crowd and compete against each other.
Canceling the game, of course, it was going to be, from what I understood, more of a controlled scrimmage instead of a real game. Do you think, though, that now having one extra practice that's more or less behind closed doors, that's maybe better for the team? You can get more accomplished because you only get those 15 practices, so they should get a lot of work done with that one day, too.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get some work done. There's no doubt. Harbaugh is not just going to throw a day away. I could never see him do something like that. It's just the opportunity to play in the big house is second to none, especially in front of a crowd. It probably wouldn't have been 110,000, but, we would have a good turnout. There's only a limited amount of times you can play in that big house, and every time you get to play, it might be your last. I thought I had a few more games under my belt there, but, of course, that was cut short. So these guys love playing in the big house, and sad that one got taken away from them, but weather does what it does.
Well, with this current team, Mario, let's start on your side of the ball and get your take. How good can this year's defense be?
Oh, yeah, these guys are fired up. We got Coach Don Brown at the helm. This guy is fiery coach, legendary mustache. And I love this guy. I was unfortunate that I didn't get to have him as a coach, but I was around him, as a assistant, and I got to learn a lot from him, learn a lot of his philosophies. He's been around the game for a long time. He will not let these guys fail. Player-wise, you got Bush. He's also a fiery little guy. He's kind of short in stature, but he gets to the ball by any means necessary. You got the two DNs, definitely going to be the best in the Big Ten, if not the best in the country. But, I think that the best in the country. Rashawn Gary and my guy Chase, got to coach them a little bit, and they're special talent.
Well, no doubt. Up front, the linebacking core looks solid. The secondary, some people say we might have some questions back there, but do you see any areas of concern on that defense?
D-line does their job, makes the secondary jobs better. I know these guys are going to be good players. We got Young Hill, my guy David sorry, I'm blanking on his name on the other side. Sorry for the shout out, my friend. But you got these guys at corner, and if the D line does their job should be so much easier, and they should lead the league in picks.
Well, when you were there, of course, you played for Coach Madison. You mentioned Don Brown, and you were around him a bit after you came back from your NFL tryout. He's just quite the character. He is such a motivator, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, going into halftime, maybe sometimes you'll shut out a team. It'll be like 14, 21-0. Coach Brown does not care. There's always something better you can do. He'll fire up. He'll smack the seats around, smack the playboard and all that. He will get you ready to keep playing because the job is not done until there's zeros across the board in the fourth quarter.
Well, and I think a lot of folks know he's fiery. You can watch him on the sidelines. You hear what players say about him, current and former, not only Michigan players, but players he's coached in the past. The Amazon Prime documentary that just came out I think it just came out last Friday, actually. I haven't seen it yet, but from what I'm reading, Don Brown sort of stole the show.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm actually a little late to the game. Have not watched it, but I hear great things about it. More than just football, it shows people as humans, the human side of football players. Everybody knows these big brutes around campus, just always in these sweats. Like, what are these guys' lives like? And it really gets a deep delve inside their real lives.
Came out last Friday, so Amazon Prime, all or nothing. I can't wait to see it either. But looking over at the offensive side of the ball, Mario, we all know last year that was really, really, for fans, and I'm sure for you, frustrating to watch. But starting with that offensive line, we just have to be better this year, don't we?
Yeah, no excuse. There's always room for improvement. I mean, all across the board. Offense, defense, special teams. It takes three phases to win a game and really dominate a game. Offensive line, group of young guys, but, they got to step up to the plate if they want to wear the wing helmet, and I'm sure they will.
Well, as I said, watching last year's offense was just frustrating, and as a former player, when you watched them, I could not figure out what was going wrong. I mean, we had young receivers. We had, for the most part, a young offensive line. We had two seniors in that group. We had more than capable running backs. Yeah, the injuries at quarterback just did not help it. It just seems when you look overall at the season, nothing went right for that offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm far from an offensive guru. I couldn't even tell you, like, the first thing about schemes or anything like that. But, it just looked like maybe some lack of confidence in a few things. But I'm sure these guys, with how Coach Harbaugh is, and I know these guys have the heart for it, and they want to win. I'm sure they're playing their hearts out in spring and competing, which they're like 5 great quarterbacks competing for a spot right now, and the best player will play this season.
Well, and there's no question the talent at the receiver positions, the running backs, a bevy of quarterbacks, and the offensive line is there. I really believe last year was an aberration, that it was sort of a Murphy's Law was in effect. If anything could go wrong, it did go wrong.
It will.
Yeah. I am one of those people that really believe this is going to be a whole different offense this year.
Yeah, I mean, every season you go in thinking that, every game you go in thinking that the offense is going to dominate. They're going to pound the ball by any means necessary. The receiver is going to get open, and the quarterback is going to hit them. The O-line is going to knock the D-line off the ball, and when we get in that red zone, we are going to score. I know they have that great kicker. Shout out to him. And if he's even in striking range, I think they can hit it from 60, maybe 65. He's going to hit it.
Yeah, Nordine is a great weapon, no question about it. Well, as you know, after 3 years under Jim Harbaugh, some of the fan base getting a little bit antsy in the stands last year. You could hear it from people. I know doing this show, I get plenty of emails, plenty of messages, people saying, hey, what's up? This is the third year. We thought we were moving ahead. Well, here we are. It's year 4. And when you look at the schedule, Mario, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Ohio State, that's on the road. We have Penn State, Wisconsin, at home. And there are other tough games. They're all tough. That schedule is absolutely brutal, Mario.
Oh, yeah. And that's just the way we like it, We want to come out and play the best. There's just one word for the fans, just relax. Relax. We will get this together. I played under Harbaugh 1 year, but if there's anything I've learned from him is, he won't quit till the job is done. Starting out opening with Notre Dame again, they backed out of our rivalry for whatever reason, and now they want back in. All right, we'll see. We'll see you in when the season starts. I actually have a little cousin who plays at Notre Dame. He's got something coming to him.
Well, in this year, we've got to win a rivalry game. It's just got to happen, Mario.
Yeah, every season those are definitely the red letter games, but we always preach just you got to play each game. You play each game like the championship game because, you never know when you can stumble. Yeah, we want to play Ohio State. Yeah, we want to play Michigan State, but just like the Appalachian State, don't want to mention it, stumble over those games, and, the season's almost done right there.
Well, final question for you, Mario. Are you still optimistic that Jim Harbaugh will get this program, your program, back to elite status in the next 2 or 3 years?
Without a doubt. It's a team effort. I mean, he recruits the best players. He recruits the best coaches. I think the one thing that's lacking right now is just consistency. I'm sure things, the way they're drawn up, they look great. Maybe even execute them in practice just the way he expected. But he's got to, on game day, bring that consistency, bring that fire, bring that extra edge, because it doesn't matter if you're competing on State Street, you gotta bring it on Main Street in the Big House.
There you go. With us on our Michigan Man Extra for this month has been former Michigan standout Mario Ojemudia, of course, talking about his playing days at Michigan and Farmington Harrison, and looking ahead, getting his thoughts on this coming season. Sounds like you're happy in your career path as a financial planner, so great to hear. I've enjoyed having you on the show, and we'll hook up a little later in the season and get your take. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for having me. Sure, I would love to come back anytime.
Thanks again to Mario Ojemudia for being with us on this month's Extra. We'll be back next week on our regular day, and my guest will be beat writer Aaron McMahon from MLive. Now, we won't have a spring game to break down, but there is always plenty to talk about when it comes to Michigan football, so make sure you join us next week. Until then, have a great Wolverine weekend, everyone. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Until next time, take care, and as always, go Blue. Thanks for joining us today on The Michigan Man, here on Wolverine Sports Radio, a member of the V Sporto Network, and in partnership with SB Nation's Maize and Brew. Our listener lines are open 24/7 for your calls at 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Or email us at themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. That's themichiganmanpodcast@yahoo.com. The Michigan Man Podcast is produced at the studios of Robin Lynn Productions, Allen Park, Michigan, and is not affiliated with the University of Michigan. Go Blue!